Hello everyone. Now we will start the presentation about cooperative learning. But before that, let me introduce my group. My name is Nikade Sasmita Aprilia as the first speaker.
My name is Komang Reudestati as the second speaker.
My name is Lucia Saviningrum as the third speaker.
Okay, let's start from me. The first is definition about cooperative learning. According to Ricard and Rebecca, cooperative learning is a learning approach that centers on group work, where the group's work is done on the ground of reducing things that are not profitable, such as difficulty to work alone or materials that are difficult enough to work alone, and also done to maximize the learning process and get the desired result. The next is about structure. Next, please. According to the same source, cooperative learning has 5 structures. Namely, the first is problem sets. Students complete a large amount of their homework in a group. The second is laboratories and project. Work related to laboratories and project is always done in a team unless the value taken in individual. The third is jigsaw. Jigsaw is a learning structure applied to team tasks that focus on expertise in several different fields. The fourth is peer editing. When a team gives a written or oral report in the form of a presentation, peer editing is an alternative use as a method of assessment. And the last one is peer-led team learning. In a lecture conducted a weekly workshop for 2 hours, where each group of 6 until 8 people were asked to solve a problem guided by a trained leader. I think it's enough from me. The next presentation will continue with Ria.
Thank you for the chance. So the next is about element. In cooperative learning has 5 elements. For the first one is positive interdependence. Reflects that each group is on the same boat. Each group studied the material cells specified by and ensuring that the entire group members understood the insanity of the content of the material. The second one is face-to-face interaction. Encourage soft-will and facilitates each other with the goal of be able to complete tasks and achieve the goals of the group. Face-to-face interaction aims to instill a commitment that members work individually within the group to achieve its goal. The third one is individual accountability. Individual accountability is one of the sections provided for each group member to assess the contribution of each participant and how their attitude of responsibility as member works within a group. And the fourth is interpersonal and small group skills. It is about providing feedback and involvement of all members of the group to make the group run effectively. And the last one is group processing. Give these members a chance to see how smoothly their group's work goes. Next about benefit of cooperative learning. There are 4 benefits of cooperative learning. Lately, many experts say that cooperative learning is very beneficial for a learning. Many of the results prove that cooperative learning has a positive influence on students. According to Johnson 2009, this teaching method can be said to be very petrifying for students in getting the opportunity to work and communicate in group. According to Brick and Jensen 2007, this method not only provides a chance to work in groups, but also creates a positive environment and atmosphere for students. Whereas according to Daniels 2005, the structure of this learning gives students a supportive framework for their learning experience. From the given framework, students will feel confident in their language skills so that they feel comfortable and more effective in learning. The same source said cooperative learning could also improve students' language skill, with only 22% of students' language skills increasing to 47%. Next, strategies of cooperative learning. There are four strategies of cooperative learning. For the first strategies is round robin. There are some steps performed in round robin. For the first one is the teacher gives question to students, then gives students time to think about answering. The second one is the teacher selects students to answer the question, the question the teacher gives first. The third is students take turns to answer until all students have answered the question given by teacher. The fourth is students who start to reread the teacher's next question and answer it, or the teacher gives new question to student and students start again. And the last is repeat step 3. Students take turns to answer. This structure is often used in the learning process because it makes students know more about vocabulary, phonic words, and sentence patterns. And the next strategy is fun and pick. There are some steps performed in fun and pick. For the first one is student 1 gives a card to his friends. The second one is the second student takes the card from the previous pile of cards and reads the contents of the card to the third person. And the third is the third student gives answer to the question on the card. The fourth is student 4 takes the card from student 2 and checks whether student 3 answered correctly or not. And next, if student 3 is correct, then they apply the friend. Next, if not, they give the wrong student 3 pointers. If the student does not have it after 3 hints, person 4 tells him the correct answer and the person 3 says it back to his friend. And next, team praises person 3. All students stand and turn chairs. In this structure, students can practice their knowledge of vocabulary and sentence patterns. I think that's all, and the next presentation will be continued by Ningrum.
Thank you, Ria. Now I will continue presentation for the explain about whiteboard write strategies. The first is the teacher gave a picture to the student and the student write word about picture. The second is student writes their work after completing them. And the third is the teacher walk around the classroom and asks one of the students to tell what they did. And then student reads after they work correctly, and if it is wrong, they have to rewrite their work. The last is repeat all the steps. Perhaps this structure is less comparative, but one of the most effective to examine student oral and written development by practicing vocabulary, word, and phonic, phonic sound and sentence pattern. For the last strategy is number head together strategy. The first is the teacher gave question to student. The second is the teacher gives student time to think about the answer to the question. The third is student independently answer the question on the board without being asked by the teacher. And then students stand at the edge of the board after writing their answer. After that, student 1 and 2 and student 3 and 4 share answer and remain standing until they reach agreement. And then the whole team remains standing and writing their answer on all the chalkboard. And then the team will sit down if they have the same answer as their friend. And the last is the teacher call the leader of its group to share their answer with the other group. The structure is good for student comprehension practice for reading and testing student knowledge of the material. Its teacher can use this structure to active active of knowledge. And then I want to explain about the uh, issues in implementing of comparative learning. According to Mudrock and Wilson 2004, there are five problems in the application of cooperative learning, namely, the first one is group size. The size of a group should be able to make members focus on their respective tasks. The size of a group can actually be 2 until 10 people, but to effectively learn is better used by 4 to 5 people only. The second is forming groups. For group of one low skill person to middle class people and one high skill student, it aims to balance the group members. The third is teacher role. Teacher are important is launching alert so that the whole thing work properly in in comparative learning. The teacher is a facilitator. The teacher must be more knowledgeable than the learner. The learning research used by the teacher. And then student role. Each member of the group should be assigned different and equal tasks, such as some serving as reader, writer, recorder, some as a group leader, and other tasks. And last is individual and group assessment. Assessment are to assess group performance and individual abilities. I think that's all about my presentation, and I will turn the presentation back to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, that's all about our group presentation. Thank you.